by chance.
Yeah.
It wasn't something that I was looking out to do when I graduated from college. It was a job that I had found that fit what I was looking for. So I guess I didn't really know I wanted to be a high school. I did my bachelor's degree, which was 4 years, and then my master's degree. And depending on your master's degree, mine was 2.5 years. I was 21 when I graduated from my bachelor's. I was 24 when I graduated from my master's. Typical 40-hour-a-week job. Your standard job usually gives you like an hour lunch break, but a lot of times when you work in an educational setting or in a behavioral health setting, you may not get those standard work hours. So, my husband comes in at 7 and leaves at 4, but he has an hour in between where he can go home for lunch. And I guess I could take a lunch or something like that, but my work day is kind of restricted to the high school day. So if the high school, let's say we change our hours to 7 o'clock in the morning, that means my hours will then shift to that time. I do things for me. I run a lot. I like to watch movies. I talk with my friends. Typical things that anyone would do to handle stress. I say that this type of job depends on where you work. And where you work has a lot to do with how hard or easy your job becomes. Here I would say that this job is, I wouldn't say easy as in it doesn't have its challenges, but easy in that it's like people are easier to get along with here, and it's not so much of a mental challenge as it is, I gotta come in and I gotta get things done. But it's not hard, like I go home and I'm stressed or I'm taking things home with me. When I first went to college, I wanted to be a physical therapist. I've always been really interested in health and helping people. And then after that, I was interested in being a substance abuse counselor because I worked on rehab units. So I worked on a 28-day unit and a psychiatric acute care unit. And I spent a lot of time doing stuff with substance abuse treatment, but decided that I didn't really like that environment.
So helping people is something you enjoy?
Yeah. There's always going to be internships available, and if you're in a master's program, so my master's program is a clinical master's program, so it's a clinical psychology degree. And whether you do clinical psychology or school psychology or, counseling, whatever, you will likely have to do an internship. So for my bachelor's degree, I had to do a 40 or 50-hour internship, which I did at the Guidance Center, which was the substance abuse unit. For my master's degree, I had to do a practicum where I did individual therapy for a semester. I had to do a group therapy practicum. And then I also had to do an internship where I went out in the field somewhere. So I did my internship at the Phoenix Children's Hospital, working with the Teen Top program. So while that wasn't counseling, like counseling,
Yeah.
it was very similar in that it was social service related sort of stuff. They're all pretty challenging. I mean, the point of your internships is to get you actual experience doing counseling related things. And so when you're first there doing your internships and you have your first client, like that is scary and that is nerve-wracking because you're thinking, oh my God, I'm going to mess this up, I'm going to say the wrong thing, or I'm not going to listen to them, or I'm not taking my notes. And so you do those types of internships in a supervised setting. That way, the way we did it at the center where I did it at was we had like a microphone in our ear. And so my professor was on the other side listening to the conversation back and forth between me and my client. And if I missed something, he would talk in my ear and tell me to ask about this. Well, yeah, it's cool, but it's pretty scary, like when faced with your first client, or your first few clients.
So you're judging them and they're judging you.
It's not so much judging, but it's like you don't know what to say, because oftentimes in counseling, people can come and say anything, like, and not just like school counseling, but at the Guidance Center, just the snap of a finger, something can change and you're like rushing into crisis mode. You know, where I used to work before, it was a psychiatric acute care facility. And so these were people who were like a danger to themselves or could be a danger to someone else. They might have also been detoxing, or they might have been having like a schizophrenic outbreak. Like maybe we were getting their meds readjusted so that they wouldn't be having so many issues. And so at the snap of a finger, someone could get set off. And the next thing you know, there's a lady with a chair in her hand threatening the staff. And so, but that type of stuff doesn't typically happen in schools. But like the last school I worked at too, you know, at the snap of a finger, 2 kids could be breaking out into a fight. And oftentimes for situations like that, yes, it's a discipline issue, but the counselors are called in too, because a lot of times with discipline issues, there are things that underlie it.